Are you facing schema issues like these on Google Search Console? In this video, we'll talk about how to fix them. Let's go. Hey, it's Jack from RankMath, the one tool that provides easy to use SEO and AI tools, and this channel provides you with tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you grow your search traffic. So if you're new to us, consider subscribing. Now, if you are using RankMath on your WordPress site and you are using our predefined schema types, it is uncommon to see schema issues on your Search Console. Issues like price valid until and unpassable structured data error would have been taken care of by RankMath automatically. But there are still some common errors that you may encounter, which we will discuss in this video. Take note, this video is for RankMath users only. Alright, RankMath users, feel free to check out the timestamps in the description to skip ahead to the issues you are facing. For now, let's understand the difference between error and warnings for rich results. So errors, such as the ones that are highlighted in red, are severe. It prevents your rich results from being shown in Google search, while warnings, which are those marked orange, still qualify your rich results in Google search with special features, but they can provide a somewhat reduced experience for your users. If you want to discover the complete list of structured data errors reported in Google Search Console, this is the page you want to visit. This is the link. We have left the same link in the description. And as I've said, if you use RankMath's predefined schema markups, you won't experience most of the issues, but here are some that still exist. Now, if you visit your Google Search Console and you check out the enhancement section and you saw a FAQ enhancement, as you click through it, you see something like this, then it's got to do with the FAQ schema you have added to the page. So let me recreate the problem, then you'll understand how this issue came about. When you have written an article and you've decided to add an FAQ schema at the bottom, such as right here, you would hit /FAQ, and this is the RankMath FAQ block. Let's say that we have an FAQ question, say, why are Weber grills so expensive? I'll let Content AI answer this to save time. There we go. And let's add another question. Is Napoleon grills better than Weber grills? Let's do the same and have Content AI write the answer for us. Now, here's how the problem starts. Maybe it was by accident or you intentionally wanted this entire FAQ block to be hidden by clicking on these icons. Let's update the page, visit the page. We scroll all the way down. We do not see any FAQ blocks here. And if we copy the page URL and go to the Google Rich Results Testing tool, we have left a link to this tool in the description. This is the tool you will use to check if any of your pages has any schema issues. Let's paste the URL here and test it. Give it a while. And you can see it says some items are invalid. And as you scroll down, it is the FAQ structured data that is not valid. Click through it once and then click it again. You will see the missing field main entity issue. This basically means that you have an FAQ schema on your page, but nothing is found. So all you need to do is to go to the page and make at least one of the FAQ questions visible, and that would solve the problem. If you want to hide the entire FAQ block, you might as well don't have it on your page, right? So since I've updated the page, and let's test it again, and the issue will be solved. Simple and easy. Now, if what I've shared does not solve the problem, could it be there are other schema plugins on your site? As a best practice, you should only be using one plugin that provides the schema functionalities. So if you are using RankMath, then you should remove or delete the others. And speaking about multiple plugins providing the schema functions, you will likely encounter this issue. So if you're facing the fixed duplicate field FAQ page issue, then it is clear that you have to remove the plugin that is injecting the additional FAQ schema codes to your page. Assuming you intend to keep RankMath and you know which other plugin is adding the FAQ schema, then you just have to deactivate that plugin. But if you don't know which plugin is causing the issue, then what you need to do is to deactivate the plugins one at a time. And each time you do that, test the page on the Google Rich Results Testing tool, and you will figure out which plugin is causing the issue. Now, if there are no conflicting schema plugins and yet the problem still exists, then this might be the problem. You have added an FAQ block on the page, and yet on RankMath's tab and the schema options, you have added an additional FAQ schema markup using the schema generator. So logically, this page has double FAQ schema functions. As I test it on the Rich Results Testing tool, and you will see the error. Click through it and you will see the issue. The same goes for this. Now to solve the problem, you need to delete either the FAQ block on the page or the FAQ schema in the generator. But the question is, which should you delete? Our recommendation is to delete the FAQ markup from the schema generator and any shortcodes that you have added on the page. However, if you wish to keep the FAQ schema here and you also want to keep the FAQ block, there is a way to remove the FAQ schema codes from the block. You just have to add this filter to your site. This is the link to the page. Now it is a little technical to add the filter, so we recommend that you check out this page that will guide you through the process. The link to this page is in the video description as well. Now if you are using Elementor, then you have the option to remove the schema codes from the element. For example, if you have added an accordion on the page, as you click on it, you will have the option to toggle off the Add FAQ schema markup. Alright, the common product schema issues most users will face are these. Let's talk about them one at a time. This is a very common issue for WooCommerce product pages that do not have any customer reviews. Check this out. This product page does not have any customer reviews. And when I test the page on the Google Rich Results testing tool, you will see non-critical issues detected in the product snippet. And over here you will see both the missing few review and the aggregate rating. The thing is, as long as you are using the product schema, Google will be looking for information for these fields. So to solve this problem, we recommend that you spend some time asking your best customers to leave a genuine review and rating for the product they have purchased. Now assuming I am a customer and I leave a good review and rating for the product, and once that is done, as I refresh the page, in case the changes hasn't been cached, I can right click, view page source, Ctrl A or Command A to select all the page codes and copy it, go to the Rich Results testing tool, and instead of using the URL option, I will use the code option and paste the page source here. This is a more accurate option by the way, and let's test the page. Give it a while. And now you will see the issue has been resolved. If we look for the aggregate rating, we have the information here, and if we look for the review schema, we have it here as well. Now that's solving the issue on a single product page, but what if the issue is discovered on a product category page? If that is the case, you want to remove the product schema from your product category pages. It is according to the Google guidelines as well, that product schema is recommended on product pages, but not on product category pages. So to do that, hover over Rank Math SEO and select the titles and meta. Following that, click on product categories and right at the bottom, toggle this remove snippet data on. If it is unchecked, this is turned on by default. So make sure to keep this on, save changes, and that would solve the issue. Now check this out, this is a variable product, which means there are multiple variations to the same product. And if we look at the Rich Results testing tool, other than the product snippets, the tool has identified another structured data called merchant listings. If we expand it, we can see the no global identifier provided on each of the variable product. This is an optional field, but of course, the more context you give to the search engines, the better. To solve this issue, simply hover over Rank Math SEO, select the general settings, and WooCommerce. Scroll down a little and you will find the brand option. By default, it is set to none, which is causing the issue. Now, if for example your WooCommerce store is selling different brands of shoes like Nike, Adidas, etc., and you have product categories with their brand name, you can simply use the product categories option, and each of the product category will be added as the brand schema field. Or if you have categorized the brands of your products in either one of these options, then you can simply select them. However, if you run your own branded store and your products are under your own unique brand, then you will need to use the custom option. But do note that this option is only available to Rank Math Pro users. For free users, don't worry, we haven't forgotten you. You can simply add this filter in your rankmath.php file and it will function the same. You just have to change this to your own brand. And as I've said earlier, we do have another page that will guide you step by step on how to create the rankmath.php file. Do check out the link in the video description. Anyway, back to the settings, let's select custom and you can add your custom brand here. And in our case, we are running our own BBQ brand called Smoking Meats. Let's save changes. Let's run the test again, give it a while, and you will see the problem has been resolved. It was 3 non-critical issues and now it is reduced to 2. So now the missing few brand issue is solved, but we still have these lingering issues here. Let's solve them. Now, in terms of providing return and shipping details, Google recommends using the Merchant Center to add that information. You should follow this set of instructions from the Google Merchant Center to manage your shipping and return policies. We have left a link to this page in the description. Now, if you don't have a Merchant Center account, then Google recommends that you add the return policy information to your organization's structured data. It is a rather simple process. Simply add this set of schema to your organization structured data. Don't worry, let me walk you through step by step on how to add this. But take note that what I'm going to show you is recommended by Google, but it will not resolve these optional issues flagged by the Rich Results Testing tool, so don't be alarmed by that. Anyway, follow along to add the return policy schema. Hover over Rank Math SEO and select schema templates, and then add new schema. Now you want to create a custom schema and you will see something like this. Now first thing first, we need to add a store here and then we need to create a group because right here it starts with a property. So what we want to do is to remove this property, and under this we want to add a property group. And then within this property group we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 properties. So within this group, we want to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 properties. Now let's add the details. First, we have the store and has merchant return policy. So we will add this, has merchant return policy. Make sure that the text is in this format. That's how the schema is recognized. Let's double check. That's great. And then we have to create the add type, merchant return policy. Add type, merchant return policy. Let's double check. And then the applicable country as well as the return policy country. So we'll start with the small caps and country with a capital C. Now depending on what country you're operating in, if your business is in the US, you would add this. And then the return policy country, this depends on where your business operates. Next we have the return policy category. Let's add that here. If your return policy has a set number of days for your consumer to return the products back to you, for example 14 days return policy, you would add this. Merchant return finite return window. This is the recognizable schema data. Now if your store do not accept returns at all, then you would add this. Merchant return not permitted. And if your business is super generous and has an unlimited amount of time to return your product, which is unlikely, you would use this instead. But for us, we have a 14-day return policy, so we will add this. Next, we have the merchant return days. For us, it's the 14 days, so let's add that. And then we have the return method. Let's add that here. Now for the return method, if the item can be returned at a kiosk, you would add this, return at kiosk. If the item can be returned by mail, you would use this, return by mail. And if the item can be returned in store, you would add this. In our case, we will be using this. And then we have the return fees. Let's add that here. Now, if there is no charge to your consumer for returning the product back to you, like for example, you will cover the shipping costs, if that is the case, you will add this to the field, free return. But if the consumer needs to handle and pay for the return shipping themselves, then you would use this, return fees customer responsibility. And if your business do charge the customer for a shipping fee for returning the product to you, you would add this instead. But for us, we will add this. This will create the least friction with the customers. And lastly, we have the refund type. Let's add that here. Now, if the item can be exchanged for the same product, you would add this, exchange refund. This is what we call the one-to-one exchange. And if the item can be refunded for the full monetary amount, you would use this, full refund. And if the return is in store credit, you would use this, store credit refund. Now, once you have done this, you want to head over to the display conditions and then insert the custom schema into the organization schema and click save. And now Google will acknowledge the return and shipping policy information even though it is flagged in the Google Rich Results Testing tool. Now this issue has to do with the video schema added to your page. Google has updated its structured data guidelines for video schema, which modifies the data format for the upload date schema property. So if you have embedded a video, for example a YouTube video, and an outdated video schema was applied, you will likely face the issue. To remedy this, you need to add this set of filter to your site. This filter will ensure that the upload date schema property includes the correct time zone information. Let's copy this filter, and the easiest way to add the filter is to install a plugin called Code Snippets. This plugin will allow you to inject codes to certain areas of your website. Once you have installed the plugin, hover over Snippets and select Add New. Give it a name, say Modify Data Format for Upload Date Schema property. It can be anything, this is for your easy reference. And now under the PHP functions, you want to paste the filter here. Now depending on where you want this filter to be applied, you can select accordingly, but for most cases, we will want it to run everywhere and save changes. Once this is done, you should test the pages that has this issue on the Google Rich Results Testing tool to see if the issue has been resolved. Not too long ago, Google made changes to its course schema structure which requires more properties. So if any of your pages are flagged with these issues, it means your currently applied course schema needs to be updated with the course instance and the offer properties. And here's how you do it. But before anything else, you need to make sure that your RankMath plugins are updated to the latest version. Next, visit the page that was flagged with the issues and check out the data from the course schema. At the top right, click on RankMaths tab and select the schema options. Assuming that this is the course schema you have applied in the past, you need to click on Edit. Now let's scroll down a little and you will see the necessary fields for the course instance property. You will need to select whether the course is delivered through the online medium, whether it is an in-person course, or whether it is a mix of both. And then the course workload field is to let search engines know the length of the course, which includes the time to consume the content and complete the required assignments or exams. You need to input the time using the 8601 format. So for example, in our case, the course takes 22 hours, 8 minutes and 23 seconds to complete. So in this field, it will start with PT, 22H, 8M, and 23S, where 22H is 22 hours, M stands for minutes, and S stands for seconds. Simple as that. Now, if you have already added the course workload, you do not need to input the information in the course schedule. It is either or. But anyway, assuming that we didn't complete this, if this is the course you are creating where it says it takes 2 months to complete at 10 hours a week, then this duration field works closely with the repeat frequency. So the repeat frequency will be weekly and the duration will be 10 hours, but in 8601 format, which is PT 10H, which means 10 hours every week. Now the repeat count. Since our course will take 2 months to complete and the repeat frequency is weekly, how many weeks are there in 2 months? There are 4 weeks in a month in general, so in 2 months there will be 8 weeks. I'll put 8 here. Simple as that. And then this is self-explanatory. If the course starts on July 22nd, you will select that and the appropriate format will be applied, and it ends exactly 2 months. So it will be on September 21st. It is super easy to add information to these fields. Next, you will also need to complete the fields in the offers property. If this course is free, which means all course materials including lectures, assignments, and tests are accessible at no cost, if that is the case, you can add free to this field. Then if part of the course is free, but students need to pay for some materials like assignments and tests, then you will add partially free. Then add subscription if students need to pay a monthly fee to access the course platform, and paid if students are required to make a payment to access the course. The price field is self-explanatory. If it is free, add 0, but for example, if it is $19 US, you will add the currency as USD 19. This ISO 4217 currency format is something that we are familiar with. If it is Singapore dollars, it will be SGD, Euro dollars will be EUR, and Indian rupees will be INR, and you will add the appropriate price according to the currency. Simple as that. So going into the existing course schema and adding those information will help you easily resolve the course instance issues. Alright, that's all the common schema issues Rank Math users will face. If you face any other issues we have not discussed, let us know. Leave a comment down below. And don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed to us, do so because we are all about helping you grow your search traffic. This is Jack from Rank Math. I'll see you in the next video.